Ethan Cole's black sedan slowed as it turned onto a quiet suburban street in Ohio, far removed from the steel and glass world he now belonged to. The neighborhood was calm, almost untouched by time. Small houses sat neatly behind trimmed lawns, and bare trees stood still in the cold air. He parked across from a modest white house with blue shutters and turned off the engine. But he didn't step out right away. For a long moment, he simply stared at the place, feeling an unexpected tightness in his chest. 5 years had passed since he had last stood here. In those 5 years, his name had appeared in business magazines. His company had crossed valuation milestones people only dreamed of, and doors had opened effortlessly for him. Yet none of that mattered while he sat in silence, facing the one door he had avoided for years. Through the thin curtains, Ethan saw Laura moving inside the house. She looked different, not dramatically so, but in ways that spoke of growth rather than loss. Her movements were calm, deliberate, as if she had learned the value of patience. Her hair was pulled back simply, and she wore comfortable clothes, free of anything meant to impress. There was a quiet confidence in her posture that unsettled him. She looked like someone who had rebuilt herself without waiting for rescue. Ethan remembered the man he had been when he left. Ambitious, restless, convinced that success would solve everything. His startup had demanded complete devotion, late nights, constant travel, and an obsession with proving himself. Laura had asked for time, for reassurance, for presence. He had asked her to wait. When she finally stopped asking, he hadn't understood what that meant until it was too late. The divorce had been quick and respectful, almost painfully clean. No accusations, no public breakdowns, just signatures, divided assets, and a silence that followed him into his new life. As his company grew, so did the distance between who he was and who he had promised to be. Success brought applause, but it never drowned out the quiet sense of failure he carried with him. He opened the car door and stepped out, the cold air sharpening his thoughts. Each step toward the house felt heavy, as though the past was pulling against him. The porch creaked beneath his weight, a familiar sound that stirred memories he hadn't allowed himself to touch. He raised his hand, hesitated, then knocked. The door opened and Laura stood there, composed and still. Her eyes met his without anger or surprise, only guarded calm. She didn't speak, and somehow that hurt more than words would have. "I won't take much of your time," Ethan said quietly. Laura studied him for a brief moment, then stepped aside, allowing him in without comment. As the door closed behind them, Ethan felt the distance of 5 years settle between them, heavy and undeniable.